So in Ayurvedic medicine, we call Hridaya. Hridaya means which is very close to your soul. Magnesium, think like every cell in the body has a motor. Like we have these motors, everything has motors. These food which is given to us by the mother nature, we are processing it highly. When we process it, we're killing it. Food is your medicine, and we ate what was grown in that season.
Most people think heart health is about cholesterol, diabetes, heart attacks, and blood pressure. But what if there is one single influence that nobody is talking about? Today, we talk about that one significant element that changes the heart way before we notice it. And all these numbers change. We are talking about magnesium. This is the weekly podcast series with Dr. Virender Sodhi. Each week, we will explore one hidden truth about better health. Not trends, not hacks, not fad diets, not fad numbers, but one thing that we can change in our daily routine to have a healthy life. Today, we begin with magnesium and heart. Dr. Sodhi, we often say heart is a pump, but you always say that's an incomplete picture. Can you elaborate more on this?
So actually, interestingly, there is a lot of interesting research has been done on heart. Heart is also the seat of emotion. The electrical impulses of the heart can be measured around 20 feet away from your heart. This has been proven in the research. So in Ayurvedic medicine, we call Hridaya. Hridaya means which is very close to your soul. That is what the heart means. So heart has a lot more. It's not only electrical pump, but it is circulating, it is thinking, its emotions are involved. A lot of heart attacks happen on Monday morning at 9 a.m. You know why? Because people don't want to go to work. They are sick of their work. So heart is more than a pump.
When we talk about magnesium, people think it is all about cramps, body pains, and everything. What role it actually plays in our body health, or rather our overall health?
Magnesium is a very, very important mineral for our overall body. There are more than 300 enzymes which magnesium feeds into it. So enzymes, in Ayurvedic medicine, it's funny, the more I study the science, my Ayurvedic models are becoming more clear to me. Enzymes are Agni concept in Ayurvedic medicine. In Ayurvedic medicine, we call about different types of Agni, and one of them is called Dhatu Agni. Dhatu means tissue Agni. So it is a elaborated process. The enzymes is a part of that Agni. The purpose of these enzymes is to make your things more efficient. There needs to be delivered, digested, dissected. Like in your blood vessels, we have more than 200 enzymes, which are constantly, they are on the surveillance. They're cleaning your arteries every second. So as I say, that a body is the most intelligent. We just need to let it do its own work without getting interference from our thoughts, from our wrong nutrition, lack of exercise, and overall compassion, love, gratitude. When you have all these, your body knows what to do the next.
The basics is that we need to correct.
Exactly. So when you said the magnesium, think like every cell in the body has a motor. Like we have these motors, everything has motors these days. So these motors, they need a mineral, and so magnesium and calcium becomes a motor. They're circulating things, and it also balances your calcium. So if you have excessive amount of calcium, that can cause cramps, that can cause the arteries to get clogged. So one of the tests which I encourage my heart patients to see, actually everybody I say above age 40 should get it done, is called calcium scoring. So this calcium scoring, we use the CAT scan of the heart. So what we're measuring is how much calcium deposits are in the blood vessel. Very simple, very inexpensive test, cost around $100 to $200. And it can actually predict a lot more better than all the tests which we do for cardiology workup. And in that, what you see, there is a deposit of calcium on the blood vessels. And that is asking for heart attack, stroke. When you have enough magnesium, it pulls out the calcium from the arteries. So very, very important function of magnesium here.
So as you were talking about the rhythm that we set, generally people talk about magnesium and the heart rhythm issues. Can you just, these topics are rarely discussed. Can you elaborate more on these as well?
Yeah, so one of the interesting fact about even allopathic medicine is when people are having arrhythmias, mean palpitations, strong heartbeats. When you go to the hospital, they give you intravenous magnesium, and there are different forms of magnesium which can be utilized. There is the one magnesium chloride, magnesium sulfate, and they give you IV push, and it slows down your heart. I will just very interesting story which I would love to share with my viewers here. My younger brother is a veterinarian. He was a young veterinarian back in India, posted in a hospital, and one of the owner of a calf brought his calf to be euthanized. So when the animals are so sick, they just euthanize them, kill them. And my brother is very kind-hearted, very loving, very caring, and to euthanize the animal for him is like, oh my God, what are you trying to do? So, but this owner will just go on begging, please, he's just in a bad shape. He is just crying all day, not doing anything. He's just, I cannot see it like that. So he told his assistant, the compounder, okay, give him IV magnesium. That's actually, it can be utilized for euthanize too, because if it slows down the heart so much that you can, if you're given heavy doses, it will kill you. So he asked his assistant to go and euthanize the calf. And around 1 hour later, this owner came running back to him and said, what do you give to him? This calf is back to normal. He's jumping all over the places. So basically what will happen, this animal, when you give them certain kind of food, they get very low in magnesium.
Oh.
He was so low in magnesium that magnesium became a life for him rather than killing him. So it's really interesting that, this incident I can never forget. And my brother very chuckingly, shares this story with a lot of his patients. And I also use this story a lot. So you can see how important it can give you life force back. So magnesium is that important.
If magnesium matters so much for all of us, why don't people know that they are low on it?
So, interestingly, unfortunately, a lot of our medical colleagues are not very well trained in nutritional medicine. They are only 8 hours of education in the 4 years of medical education. So they don't have true knowledge. And most of the time, I see this mistake all the time. They will measure serum magnesium, which does not tell you what the magnesium status is. What you need to measure is RBC, red blood cell magnesium. And this is a test available that tells you the actual status of a magnesium. But we have so much low magnesium because we get magnesium from our food. Our overfarming chemicals has depleted our magnesium sources, and also we get magnesium from our water, naturally occurring magnesium. Our water, if you, I think I've said it many times, there is a website, ewg.org. Go and put your zip code. You'll be surprised that how much chemicals are in your water. The city of Bellevue, where I live, I put 98004, and what I was surprised to see, the arsenic amount of that water was 762 times than the normal limit. 762 times. So these all can pull out. These toxic metals can pull out. There's so many others. I'm just giving you one example, which is the problematic here. So we are not getting enough from our food. Also, we are not eating the really food which is given to us by the mother nature. We are processing it highly. When we process it, we're killing it. So if you look at what are the richest source of magnesium in the mother nature? Vegetable, nuts, seeds, whole grain. If you come to me as a patient, that's what I tell my patient. Eat more vegetables. Dark chocolate is also a rich source of, but dark chocolate means without sugar. Okay, and may not be the most yummiest thing, but the chocolate is very healthy, by the way. But if you eat enough amount of nuts and seeds, like a couple handful a day, which a lot of my patients are vegetarian and they're not eating enough protein. So they need around 50-60 grams of protein. So when you're eating one egg, some people vegetarian eat egg, there's 7 grams of protein in one egg. But nuts and seeds, like 80 almonds will have 20 grams of protein, but nobody eats 80 almonds. So you can see that we are lacking the basic nutrition, and plus our food is already depleted, and we're not eating enough vegetable. All your leafy greens, kale, chard, spinach, methi leaves, fenugreek leaves, amaranth leaves, which a lot of Asian culture use, even moringa leaves, which is getting very popular these days, rich source of magnesium. So if you're eating 4 to 5 cups of vegetables, start slow. You will don't need any supplementation. But majority of us, we're not eating that much, so we need supplementation. And also, it's important to know different forms of magnesium will be absorbed differently. So most of the time when people go out, they buy the most cheapest, bigger pack. I see it every day, and I have to give them a teaching lesson there. So most common form of magnesium is magnesium oxide. The sad news, Swati, is only 4% absorbed. It stays in your gut. So it does good effect on the poop, because it stays in the gut and it becomes hygroscopic. It pulls the water and you have a bowel movement. So good for that. But 4% is not. So there are other forms of magnesium: magnesium glycinate, magnesium citrate, magnesium malate, magnesium threonate. These are more bioavailable and they affect on different tissues. And maybe one of these days we will tell what magnesium is more effective for different tissues. So this is how we need to take magnesium. Not only magnesium oxide. So don't always go for the cheapest. And look at, the absorption of magnesium glycinate is very high. Malate is very high. Citrate is high. Oxide is the poorest.
So is there a pattern, doctor, that you see in the real patients having this?
Yeah, one very common pattern which we see, leg cramps.
Oh, okay.
And at night, it's also people call it restless leg syndrome. So they are tossing and turning, their legs are moving back and forth, and they get cramps. Very common, actually, a lot of population has that issue. And a lot of doctors even prescribe calcium. Calcium actually becomes problem because it is a excessive calcium buildup. It's not being processed in the legs. But interestingly, calcium also, if you take excessively, it blocks the absorption of calcium.
Okay.
It becomes calcium channel blocker. So it may be helpful some, but the real thing which you need is a magnesium. And if you give them the combination of different forms of magnesium.
Is there a time that we should be think of while taking the magnesium, or everything at any time is good for anyone?
It all depends what's going on with you.
Okay.
But majority of people has issue with sleep.
Okay.
So magnesium also triggers serotonin in you. Serotonin triggers melatonin in you. So it creates a quality deep sleep. Plus it relaxes your muscle. So when your muscles are relaxed, what is going to happen? You're going to have a good sleep. So at night is a good idea to take it. And you may have to take around 200 to 400 milligram of elemental magnesium. So this is another confusing, because people see the dose 400 milligram. It's not elemental. So elemental is what percent of the magnesium is attached there. So that can be different with different forms of magnesium. So I think this is, people need to understand that elemental magnesium is more important than the overall milligrams of the magnesium.
So doctor, I think people listening to us would be eager to know that they just go over the counter, buy the tablets and start eating at night and everything is fine. What's your take on it?
Not really. So basically, I told that magnesium oxide is very poorly absorbed. It's good if you have constipation. Okay, so that's what, you can only 4% absorb. But if you want to, I like combinations of different magnesium because it attaches to different tissues. Like magnesium glycinate works on blood vessels. So good for heart, good for blood pressure. Magnesium threonate works on the nervous system, calms down your nervous system. Magnesium citrate also works on the bones. It stores in the bones, so very healthy for that one. So I like to have a magnesium which has a different combinations in it. So you are attaching to different tissues in the body and have an overall beneficial.
So that's a very important piece of information for our viewers. So as we were talking about magnesium and heart, can you correlate both and help our viewer understand more about that?
So Swati, as I said, that we are very low in magnesium because our food chain lacks it, our water supply lacks it, and we have more toxic material which actually will not be beneficial. So we should take magnesium. It's such a wonderful supplement that it will not kill you unless you're taking buckets of it, But I don't encourage people to eat buckets of anything. And as I think we did a newsletter that people are over supplementing themselves, which is also not good. So I always take the advice of a good physician who knows his subject. So I encourage people. This is a plug for naturopathic physicians because they are very well trained, 4 years of education, and they are very well trained in nutrition. They can take magnesium regularly for regularity of heart. One of the biggest thing which we see, actually interestingly, young people get a lot more palpitation because they are stressed out. A lot of these IT guys, they will end up in emergency with the palpitations and heartbeats going out of the chest.
That's the daily trend.
Daily trend.
Yeah.
And because everybody is overstressed, with especially the geopolitical situation which is going on right now in the world. Also, the workload is so much because they're cramping so many hours to get their post running, so their job running, and they end up drinking lots of coffee. Coffee and heartbeat does not go well together. So they end up having palpitation.
I think you have shared your views on is coffee bad for you. So viewers, you can check that out on the YouTube link.
So magnesium supplementation on a regular basis will help your heart. And even now, interestingly, enlightened cardiologists are suggesting taking magnesium on a regular basis. I have a very good friend, Dr. Jamna Das. He is a kind of a sensation on the YouTube, millions of views, and I know him for so many years. And he has crossed the borders and come to our alley from becoming a complete allopathic to more nutrition-oriented physician. He's an interventional cardiologist. And there are lots of other enlightened cardiologists who are talking about magnesium for heart. So magnesium will save lives, it will make your heart healthy, and it will also help you with the cramps, good sleep, good bones, good muscles. You are a winner.
So as you say that it's about Ayurveda and scientific things all together, can you tell your stance on magnesium and Ayurvedic and scientific stance of it?
So Swati, very good question. The Ayurveda did not know what vitamin A, B, C, D, E, F, G, all of those, and magnesium, we didn't know. We call them differently. But what we emphasize, ahar means food. Food is your medicine. And we ate what was grown in that season, naturally grown. We're now talking about organic farming. Everything was organic farming. We did not create anything artificial. 60s and 70s, the food was organic even in this country. And in India, they start green revolution in 70s, made the whole food chain toxic right now. So that is the biggest problem which we are facing right now. So try to eat organic. If you like, grow your own. I'll grow my own vegetable, by the way. And they are so yummy, so tasty. And when people come to my home, say, God, why your vegetables are so tasty? Because I grow them. I don't put any chemicals in it. So the message is treat natural, use natural, and your body will be naturally healthy.
So if this conversation shifted the way you think, I think that's the point of this series. If you like to know more about healthy eating and healthy lifestyle, follow Dr. Sodhi on Instagram, Dr. Virender Sodhi. We will be back next week about another hidden truth about better health.
My goal is to stay healthy myself and keep you healthy.
Thank you.